Hi Year 7, it's Mr. Ashley here, and I'm going to go through a bit of an instructional video to talk to you firstly about our CPR source analysis continuum that every year group in history at Catherine Macaulay will be using, and also to teach you how you're going to be doing source analysis in Year 7, and then after that we're going to do that CPR source analysis model on a few sources for you to understand. So by the end of this video, the goal is for you to feel confident to, one, be able to identify the type of source that we're looking at, and we'll also be able to tell me or tell your teacher what the origin of a source is, the one that you're looking at, and be able to use that information to then describe the content of a source that you're looking at. That's the goal, and the way it's going to work is we'll just do the learning cycle where I will show you how to do it, and then after this video you and your teacher will do a joint construction, and then after that you'll take a leap of faith into the deep end of the pool and have a go at doing an independent construction of describing the content of a source that you're looking at. So what you see in front of you here is a continuum, which is like a staircase of difficulty. In Year 7, looking at the bottom left of the screen, you can see that you're looking at the content of a source. And then in Year 8, next to that, one step up, you not only look at the content, but you also look at the perspective of the source. And then moving up to Year 9, you'll be required to apply your knowledge of content and perspective of the source, as well as looking at the reliability. And then as you get to Year 10, you use all of what you've learned in Year 7, 8, 9 to help make a judgment about the usefulness of the source. And then in Stage 6, if you decide to do history in Year 11 and 12, you will do the same thing, but also be able to have a skill to be able to make a judgment around the value of a source to an historian. So you don't need to worry about any of that except for what is here on the left-hand side. And so the key part here, and which I want you to copy onto your sheet that you've received from your teacher, is all you need to focus on in Year 7 equals content. That is your focus. And then when you hear the word content, I want two words to always come to mind: type and origin. And this is in relation to the source you're looking at. So in regards to type, the question we're looking at is it primary? Is it a primary or secondary source? And please write this down as well as I'm doing it. That's what you need to figure out first. And then the next part is origin. Year the source was made, plus author. Once you have that, you are nearly ready to start answering the question. But for this continuum, the example source is right here. And the first thing you're going to do in Year 7, looking at the content, is not go straight to actually the specific source. I want you actually to look at here. This bit here, which is considered the information sentence about the source. This will possibly give you everything you need to know. And so if we look here, we're going to read the information bit about source A, and I want you to follow along and see if you can identify the type and the origin. The type may not be as easy as the origin. You might need to apply some thinking to that. But let's read it. Extract from Annals written by Tacitus in the 2nd century CE. Tacitus was a writer from ancient Rome who focused on different emperors. So if we look at this one here, if we look at type there, please do the same here, guys, so you can see how we annotate it. And origin. Type of source, we're looking at whether it's a primary or secondary. The fact that this is saying it's an extract, so it's a little section of writing from a writer called Tacitus in the 2nd century CE, which is considered ancient times, and he writes about ancient Rome. That makes this source a primary source because it is a source that was created during the event or time that it is written about. So type, we have primary. Origin, we have here that it was written in the 2nd century CE. And that needs to be written down as well. And then also, if we look over here, Who made it? So year made, and who's the author? Here it says it's written by Tacitus, so we have Tacitus as the author. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through the sample here and see if the sample provides those answers. So source A is a primary source, tick. Specifically, an extract from a written source that has been written by Tacitus, tick. In the 2nd century CE, tick. So in the first sentence, you have met, or the person who wrote this has met, the requirements of type and origin. But this section is also asking you to describe the content. So content also means information. What is the source telling you or showing you? And if you look at this next sentence, the next sentence is all about the content, the information. The source focuses on Agrippina and appears to portray her in a negative light through Tacitus describing her as masculine and arrogant. And that has been taken from the actual source, the info there. So the key thing you need to remember here is the first sentence you focus on type and origin, and the second sentence you focus on content. What information does the source tell you? And that can either come from here or here.